My name is Edge Deathnell, and this is my sword, Bloodstain. She's also my girlfriend, don't ask. Raised in the unforgiving depths of my mother's basement, I have had my mind and body tempered by the ways of the forum and the art of procrastination. A master of sword and keyboard alike, I have made it my life goal to slay all the normies, eat all the tendies, and prove my worth to the waifus of Mojave. For while my neck may be bearded and my chin may be doubled, the mind is the greatest weapon of all. For those who don't know, a neckbeard is a pejorative term for someone who avoids exercise, healthy food, sunlight, and social interaction like the plague. They typically have niche hobbies and, let's just say, interesting views on certain topics. Most video games are there to give you an escape, to make you feel like someone you're not. But what if you wanted the opposite experience? What if you wanted to feel like an absolute loser, purely for the sick masochistic pleasure it may bring? Break out your Doritos and hold on to your body pillow, as today I'm answering the question, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as a neckbeard? The rules are as follows. I'm only able to damage enemies with Bloodstain, my trusty katana, since it is the pinnacle of Japanese craftsmanship. Second, I'm only allowed to wear eyeglasses since I stare at the computer all day, a bounty hunter's duster to make me look badass, and a pre-war hat because
fedoras are awesome.
The only 8 items I'm allowed to put on my body are soda, junk food, TV dinners, desserts, etc. Things like stealth boys, magazines, and weapon repair kits don't count, as they don't go inside your body. Drinking from water sources also doesn't count since it's not an item. The entire run is on very hard difficulty with hardcore mode enabled, and no companions are allowed. Besides, the only companion I need is my Bloodstain. Finally, as a secondary objective, I must fail to romance every woman in the game. With all that out of the way, let's begin. In character creation, I do my best to make the archetypical example of a neckbeard, i.e. pale as a ghost from lack of sunlight, shaggy, unkempt hair, stubble, and a complete lack of a chin. Racing to the vigor tester machine.
Take it slow now. It ain't a race.
I go with 1 strength due to my diet of junk food, 8 perception to get to 10 when combined with glasses and a fedora, 9 endurance from that time I overdosed on energy drinks to game all night, 1 charisma, obviously, 10 intelligence because I watch Rick and Morty, 1 agility due to my lack of exercise, and 10 luck because it's a miracle I've gotten this far in life. I then have to answer a dumb quiz.
I'm gonna say a word. I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Mother. Sometimes when you give tests like this, you learn more than you was hoping for, and I reckon that ain't always the best thing.
Before assigning my tag skills, melee weapons to be more proficient with Bloodstain, science since I'm on the computer 24/7 anyways, and survival so I can persist on nothing but snack cakes and potato chips. I also choose my traits. 4 Eyes, as accidentally turning on Discord light mode permanently scarred my retinas, and Hoarder so I can take all my waifu figurines with me. I find my trusty fedora in Doc Mitch's house, so I put it on and take off the dumb jumpsuit he gave me. I also drop the Vault 13 canteen because drinking water is for pussies. After a thorough looting of the Doc's house so I can lose the negative effects of Hoarder, I decide this challenge isn't hard enough and use console commands to set my speech and barter to 0, vowing to never increase them when leveling up. With my superior intellect, I create some chems and an SMG I can't use. I then step out into the harsh, blinding sunlight and walk into Chet's store before I absorb too much vitamin D. I buy a backup fedora as well as all the junk food he has in stock and sell a lot of the DLC items for easy cash. Sunny Smiles wants me to use a plebeian gun, and while it may not be as easy as Call of Duty makes it out to be, I managed to knock down all the bottles without dislocating my shoulder too many times. Alright, back on track. Joe Cobb wants to paint the town of Goodsprings red, so it's my job to form a local militia and stop his little gang. Well, it would be my job if I wasn't preoccupied with looting all the sarsaparilla I can. I'll come back to this quest once I have my Bloodstain. For now, I loot Gene skydiving, watch the NCR make gecko pate, sell stuff to Nash, take a wide berth around some outlaws, discover the Mojave outpost, discover that root beer doesn't patch bullet holes, witness an ant completely ignore Thomas the Tank Engine, and walk into Nipton to see that some weird furry and his rope and larper friends reduce the property value of the neighborhood. Yeah, these seem like the sort of well-adjusted and reasonable people I want to be siding with. To underscore this point, I go to the Mojave outpost to spread the word of the Legion's atrocities, but not before getting stopped by a soda-obsessed stalker. The XP from this levels me up, where I even up some skills, and as much as I want to take the Lady Killer perk, I decide Swift Learner would be more useful at the moment. My pleasant trek to Novak gets cut short when all the exercise causes the blood clots in my leg to explode. The next time around goes smoother. I repair my fedora with another fedora, get chased by a mole rat and some jerks with tire irons, and watch them get served a heaping helping of NCR justice. In Novak, I buy some cereal, pick the key from Cliff's pocket so I can steal that gun and some sarsaparilla, and leave for Hoover Dam. On the way, I discover Helios 1 in Boulder City for later, and when I get there, pick up a snow globe for good luck. Making my way to the strip proper, I reluctantly slurp up some water since 204-year-old soda isn't the best at quenching her thirst, discover an SCP reference, rob a train station to counteract Hoarder, loot Cass's caravan and some fresh corpses, sell some things to Vendatron, and head to Mick and Ralph's where I can finally purchase Bloodstain, my trusty katana. Oh, Bloodstain, how I've missed you so. I immediately test her out by decapitating a Freeside thug, and then head to the old Mormon fort for another snow globe. I also pick up a quest to collect some debts, and then do the classic trick where I drag all the Van Graff's things into the bathroom. However, my sneak is so low that I'm unable to steal them, so I'll have to come back later. Collecting all the debts is easy enough due to my high perception and ability to punch dumbasses in the face. A few Three-Side thugs later, my head gets crippled, and this is when I realize junk food can't heal broken bones. This means that every time I get a broken limb, I have to go to Julie Farkas and get healed up. The last freeloader is in the strip, so I dodge the NCR's bullets like an anime protagonist and use the monorail to get there. While McCafferty does gut-shot me, I'm able to stagger and disarm him long enough to inflict the killing blow and level up, getting science to 50 and both melee weapons and repair to 30. With Caleb's trench coat and the fedora, I now look like a complete badass, so I go into the tops and level up again at the mere presence of Chandler Bing, increasing survival in melee and getting the travel light perk. However, I don't think taking on the Ben Man at this level is a good idea, so instead I go into the El Rey Motel to beat up a homeless drug addict, leveling me up once again and getting melee weapons and survival at 50. I also find another backup fedora, kill some scorpions, and get a pair of prescriptions, completing my signature look. Back in Goodsprings, I shove some cigarette butts in my pockets, actually manage to get Easy Pete's dynamite for once, go into the schoolhouse to crack open the safe, and fight off the powder gangers with the power of friendship.
What have you done?
You like that?
Murderer!
Continuing my powder ganger killing spree at Prim,
Had enough?
You like that? Had enough?
I rescue Beagle and reprogram Slimmy Boy into being the sheriff. This levels me up, getting melee weapons to 65 and the toughness perk. One Operation Soda Steal later, I go to Boulder City to get Benny's lighter and make a few cons lighter by evicting their souls from their bodies. Turning in the debt collector quest levels me up once more, getting unarmed to 45. Why am I raising unarmed? You'll see. I also pick up Wang Dang Atomic Tango while I'm here. A quick drink at Camp Golf later, I activate a Stealth Boy and shove all the Van Graff stock into Pocket Dimension Boy 3000, and even come around the shelves for seconds, selling it all for a huge profit. I decide now's as good a time as any for vengeance, so I show Swanky Box enough evidence for me to carry Bloodstain into the tops, and then promptly turn Benny and his goons into Waigu. In the middle of this, I unsuccessfully flirted with Sarah Weintraub.
Leather suits are good times. Thinking about that just blows my top. Oh yeah? I bet you spend most of the time thinking lines rather than putting them to use. That Vault merchandise is not on your menu. Next!
And took her snow globe in retaliation. Taking the platinum chip, which sadly doesn't come with platinum salsa, levels me up, getting unarmed to 50, science to 55, melee weapons to 70, and the educated perk. The weird furry from before runs up to me and invites me to his roleplay server. I said I'd consider the offer, but for now, I feel like getting the boomers out of the way early. After slaying George, I'm able to Naruto run through the artillery shells and begin helping the boomers right away, starting with Pete. Putting my Pete is easy Pete's a strange grandchild theory away for now, I pick up a snow globe and listen to his little speech, but sadly forget to pass a few speech checks afterwards for extra fame. Clearing out the ants for Raquel is simple enough, as ants have to go into a stock attack animation before they can hurt you, making dealing with them not so tough. The real annoyance is that you have to keep running around the building to slowly spawn in waves of ants instead of being able to fight them all at once. This quest levels me up, increasing science, repair, and lockpick. Next are the solar panels, which I need to find parts for. Picking my way into Helios 1, which none of the NCRs seem to care about, I exit through the front door and get gunned down despite coming from indoors. Next attempt, I use my science skill to convince them I'm helpful, witness Mr. Fantastic pining for a drink.
They asked me how well I understood theoretical physics. I said I had a theoretical degree in physics. They said, welcome aboard.
And somehow shove a giant pile of solar panel fragments down my pants. What's more, I can use my science skill to make improvements to the panels, netting me some extra XP. To wrap up the boomers, I take my first bath in a couple of years and use my high endurance to make attaching the ballast a piece of cake. After that, I take a 30-second long vacation to Jacobstown for another snow globe. That long trek made me hungry, so I stop by El Dorado Gas and Service for some snacks. I then enter the Lucky 38 and turn all my snow globes in for a hefty 12,000 caps before dissecting the Wizard of Oz and leveling up, getting science to 75 and choosing the most fitting perk for this build, Nerd Rage. I suppose now's as good a time as any to meet with Caesar Salad himself. So after putting some NCR ghouls out of their misery, I chase a crunchy muttfruit down a hill, steal the Legion's supply of soft drinks, fail to pull an easy Pete on Severus.
That would be worth knowing, especially if we can then rearm and reuse them. Go find a minefield and practice that trick several times then, idiot.
Find a mod for Bloodstain that increases attack speed by 20, talk to Alexa about how to make better healing coke, and get tasked by Seizure to blow up the Securitrons under the fort. This section is pretty hellish due to having my ribs broken and thus staggering every 5 seconds, while also being irradiated and filled with lasers. I have to use a laser rifle to destroy the reactors, as Bloodstain doesn't seem to work on them. Since they aren't an enemy, it's not a rule violation. Reporting to Seizure levels me up, increasing melee weapons, survival, and unarmed. Since I already completed the boomers, getting them on the Legion's side is simple, as is stealing the howitzer parts. I also get a cybernetic implant to increase my endurance to 10. While I do fail to seduce Beatrix Russell, I make up for it by succeeding in fixing the Legion's howitzer and getting an unarmed move from Lucius I can't use. As Seizure orders me to recruit the White Gloves, a faction of high society cannibals, he gets a massive headache and storms off to his bed. At least he lives up to his name, and lives up to his threats when I annoy him.
God damn it, go away! Come back when I've had some sleep. Disturb me again, and I'll have you killed. I warned you not to bother me! Praetorians, kill this asshole! Another kill to my name!
Had enough? Come on.
At Camp McCarran, I failed to seduce Corporal Betsy.
Yeah, right. You're sniffing up the wrong skirt. Try me again when you're tall, blonde, and female.
Yeah, that one's on me. And then steal all their rations for safekeeping. Unfortunately, the White Gloves won't join my side due to my low reputation on the strip, and letting some Omertas murk a girl so I can loot the room probably didn't help my chances. I also kill Sarah for rejecting me, loot all her things, and drink from her water fountain. After failing to get laid time after time, I decide enough is enough and go to Gomorrah to hire a hooker. Even then, I get nervous and wimp out before the deed can be done, ensuring my virginity for the foreseeable future. To make matters worse, I have to report my failures to both Volpez and Caesar. Caesar even blanks out in the middle of our conversation and kills me again for being annoying. Feeling defeated, I decide to try one more time to get laid. I go into the Thorn and find Red Lucy, and while she does reject me for now, she says she'd be DTF if I find a bunch of animal eggs for her. As it turns out, giant killer manises are harder than they look to take out, so I guess the redhead is off the table. As a last-ditch effort, I go into the Casa Madrid apartments to find some action, but the only two hookers are a grandma and a girl who's way out of my league, so I politely decline. After killing some bloatflies, powder gangers, and scorpions, I make it to Hidden Valley to deal with the Brotherhood once and for all. And this is where a lot of the footage for this video got corrupted. To summarize, I got the perks Bug Stomper, Lord Death, Melee Hacker, Piercing Strike, which is what Unarmed was for, and Rad Child. I also bought the Subdermal Armor implant for 8,000 caps. I took out all the NCR authority at Camp Forlorn Hope with nothing but a stealth boy and a dream, and also cleared out H&H Tools and Repcon HQ. H&H Tools for the pre-war food in the kitchen, and Repcon HQ for both experience and to sell the Q35 matter modulator, as I managed to get science to 100. I also discovered the Great Khans and used my science skill to teach Jack how to make some fancy drugs. After killing the NCR scout for the Brotherhood, I helped them with their virus problem and then used my 100 science to set the self-destruct on their base, escaping with the help of a stealth boy. With the pseudo-religious tin cans done and dusted, I head back to Caesar only to discover he has a lethal brain tumor.
There's nothing moderate about the severity of this. And if you're going to make up names for diseases, come up with good ones.
Oh well, nothing an autodoc module left in the back of a gecko and ghoul-infested vault can't fix. Wait, what? Reluctantly, I head there only to get attacked by some NCR farmers, so I reap their souls and sweep up a caravan in the massacre. I do feel a twinge of guilt after seeing their pack ramen morning, but it's not enough to keep me from making some ground beef. Inside Vault Rule 34, I have to stumble around in the dark while dodging geckos and ghouls alike, until I can find the parts and... I use my last stealth boy to slip by the geckos and remove the lump in Caesar's 4 intelligence brain, leveling up and getting melee weapons to 100. My next task is to assassinate the president. However, since I can't wear an NCR disguise, I'm gonna need a way to sneak by the troopers. To that end, I go to Repcon to mop up some ghouls.
You did it! Murderer! Who's there? No! What have you done? No! Murderer! Had enough? Had enough? Come on! I'm hit!
And pick a stealth boy off the ground that I bet 90% of players miss. Now that I'm invisible, I can hack into the gun controls and get it to shoot down the president's vertibird. However, I have to stop sneaking for a moment to talk with Hostilis, causing the NCR to open fire and almost kill me. For some reason, as soon as the copter is blown out of the sky, I return to being hidden, meaning I can slip away, leveling up survival and getting the better criticals perk in the process. Before the Battle of Hoover Dam, I go to Prim to both kill some NCR scum and sit in an irradiated pool of water for several minutes.
Come on, New Zealand, try something new.
With deadly radiation poisoning and the Rad Child perk, I now regenerate 8 health per second. This perk is severely underrated and basically quells the need for any healing for the rest of the run. I then go to Goodsprings to steal all their soda, get mocked by Gloria as she sells me a katana mod I already have, raid Nipton of all their various foodstuffs, and finally start the Battle of Hoover Dam. As it turns out, charging into a group of trained soldiers with guns with nothing but a katana, a trench coat, and G-Fuel isn't a good strategy, so the next time around I take the sneaky route and let the Legion rough up the NCR for me. Well, I did do some of the work.
I think it's time for Jack to let her rip. With
heavy troopers seem like they'd be a pain, but their incinerators can only be fired so close before they become reluctant, and once you knock the weapon out of their hands, they die like anything else. I level up in the middle of the battle, getting survival to 100 and putting a measly 4 points in sneak. Inside the dam itself, I kill some more NCR dogs, until coming face to face with General Meat Grinder, who I fail to make surrender. All this really means is that Bloodstain gets to live up to her name some more.
Over here! Killed him! Here! Come on! You like that?
The labyrinth section of Oliver's compound would be tricky if I didn't save a stealth boy so I can sneak by Mr. Anti-Material Rifle. I put the stealth boy to good use against the general himself, getting his sneak attack and quickly cutting him down. The rest of his heavy troopers are pretty simple. Just disarm them, grab their weapon, and swing at them while staying out of the range of their super sledge. What isn't simple is the fact that I have to take out 2 NCR Rangers, one with a revolver and one with an anti-material rifle in a trap-filled maze. I swear I must have died at least 50 times during this part. Between the Ranger being able to kill me in 1 or 2 shots, Bloodstain nearly being broken, the bear traps magically resetting themselves, and the variety of explosives strewn about, I didn't have a very fun time.
Come on!
Resisting the urge to rage quit, I managed to use a mix of quick saving, soda, a well-timed mine, and VATS to take out the Ranger. The one with the revolver is easy pickings after that. Leaving the compound, I get praised by the Monster of the East and prove that yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas as a Neckbeard. In conclusion, the katana is a great melee weapon with a high crit chance, fast attack speed, and limb damage bonus. When complemented by perks and skills, it's a force to be reckoned with. The Bounty Hunter Duster is also a decent piece of armor, providing the highest defense for clothing and some decent bonuses. However, the real draw of the run was only being able to heal with junk food. Having to go to the doctor every time I got irradiated or crippled was a pain, as was finding water sources to drink from constantly. While there were lots of difficult parts, especially the ending, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, mostly due to me getting all the snow globes for some easy caps. It was fun doing a Legion playthrough, as it's my first time ever siding with them. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment below, or become a patron. If you didn't enjoy the video, dislike it and leave constructive criticism so I can improve. Patrons will have their names featured at the end of each video and in the description, gain access to exclusive content, and any suggestions made by patrons are guaranteed to become official videos. However, even if you aren't a patron, I'd still like to hear your feedback and ideas for new challenges. This is Causal Loop, signing off. Peace.